If you're looking to hammer some DFS plays for this weekend, looking for some football action, college, NFL, I got you covered. I got a 3-leg underdog fantasy DFS play for you guys to hammer. My name is Matt Modi. I am recording this for DGF Fantasy using their DFS optimizer to find these plays. You can find me on social media pretty much anywhere at Jedi Modi. And let's get into it. So Underdog Fantasy, when you're looking to play these DFS platforms like a Prizepicks, like an Underdog, it's going to sound overly simplified and like the borderline caveman strategy. Literally all you're looking to do is maximize your win percentage. And let me kind of detail that for a little bit. So when you are sports betting, you're playing FanDuel, you're playing DraftKings, you're playing Barstool, BetMGM, Caesars. All of these sports books, they price odds based on what they think the win probability is of those odds of that play, right? If they deem a play likely to hit, they're going to charge minus 160, minus 165, minus 160 odds for it. Well, using Underdog, using Prizepicks, you don't pay any extra juice regardless of what the play is, whether you're taking an over or an under or a passing prop or rushing, receiving, whatever it may be. You're getting the same exact odds no matter what the play is. And the reason why I love the DFS optimizer is because they make everything so simple for you. Now we're going to get into how to actually read the tool, but I first wanted to highlight, if you click this drop down here, and remember I'm using Underdog, in the drop down, it literally tells you what the odds are per individual leg based on what how many entries, or excuse me, how many legs you're putting in an entry. So 2 picks we see for non-insurance, minus 136. For the when you play the insurance, minus 137. But then look at 3, minus 122. Look at 5 picks with insurance, minus 120. So when you're playing Underdog, you really don't want to play 2 legs. You really don't want to play 3 picks with insurance. The best bang for your buck is 3 picks without insurance, or pretty much any type of 5-pick option. So when you're starting off using these DFS platforms, you first need to understand what individual platform you're using and what's optimal on that platform. Again, for Underdog, it's 3 legs without insurance, or pretty much any version of the 5-leg one. From there, because you are not paying any extra juice, and I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's really important to understand, because you're getting the same exact odds for every single play, all you're doing from there is you're maximizing your win percentage, right? This first play, which we're going to get into, it's college football player rushing yards. According to DGF, this has a win percentage of 57.5%. Now, we could take the over or we could take the under, and we're going to get the same exact implied odds of minus 122. Well, why on earth would we take the over if the under is going to hit at a 57.5% rate, right? It's just, it'd be borderline irresponsible. Your mom would be disappointed in you if you played the over on this play. Now let's talk about this play. Michael Wiley, player name. Player rushing yards under the stat column. We are taking the under the O/U column. We're taking the under 66.5. What you see under the Underdog logo is the actual prop you are taking. Now, the reason why this is a play, I want to highlight this column here, the sportsbook line. So we know Underdog prices this at 66.5. The numbers you see under the sportsbook line, those are where the sportsbooks are pricing this play. When I say sportsbooks, I mean FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstool, BetMGM, Caesars. They price Michael Wiley's over-under rushing yards at 58.5. That is 8 yards under where Underdog is pricing it, right? So the reason why the under is a play, well, let the sports books do the work for you. They think his over-under should be priced at 58.5. We are getting the option to take his over-under 8 yards higher at 66.5, right? Because the sports books are pricing it so much below the Underdog number, the under is a play. This is an example of a line discrepancy. The lines are different between Underdog and between the sports books. Again, 8-yard difference. That's huge with numbers like 58.5 to 66. That's a massive deal. So this is our first play, Michael Wiley under 66.5 rushing yards. Again, according to DGF, this is going to hit at a 57.5% rate. That's where this percent odds to hit is coming from. Next up, NFL play. We are taking Justin Herbert to go under 21.75 fantasy points. So instead of this being a line discrepancy, this is an example of a pricing discrepancy. We see the sportsbooks also price this at 21.75. But look at the odds of where they price it. Minus 136, minus 135. DGF calculates this to be at minus 134. Remember, for a 3-pick without insurance, we are getting the implied odds of minus 122. So the sportsbooks pricing this at minus 136 is telling you that they think it's more likely to occur than the implied odds of minus 122. That's literally the exact definition of positive expected value. Positive EV, the definition, if you were to Google it, says when you're placing a bet on something that you know as the sports bettor is going to hit at a higher rate than the implied odds that the sportsbook is offering. I know that sounds like a mouthful. It sounds super complicated, but it's really not. This should be priced at minus 134. Because we're playing it on Underdog, we are getting it at minus 122. That is positive expected value. That is a mathematically profitable player prop. So our second leg, Justin Herbert, under 21.75 fantasy points. And our third leg, this is going to be another NFL play in the Jacksonville Jaguars game. They're playing the Chiefs. Trevor Lawrence to go over 3.5 rushing attempts. This is another example of a pricing discrepancy as opposed to an odds discrepancy. The sports books also price it at 3.5, but look at where they price it. Minus 160, minus 165, minus 160, pretty heavily pricing this as the over being the likely scenario, giving this a win percentage of 57.03. That's 3 legs on Underdog Fantasy that all have a win percentage above 57%, which is really good. Generally, the break-even number is around like 55, just below 55. So getting each play, all 3 plays, above 57% is awesome. So this is our 3-leg entry. Absolutely going to hit. Michael Wiley under 66.5 rushing yards. Justin Herbert under 21.5 fantasy points. Trevor Lawrence over 3.5 rushing attempts. I definitely recommend tailing this with me. If you do, comment and let me know. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.